Welcome back, children. Today we are going to learn the second chapter of First Flight, that is Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. Okay, before we begin this chapter, children, let me tell you something about apartheid. Because before you learn this chapter, you need to understand that how and why did Nelson Mandela fight against the whites. Okay, actually there was a system of apartheid. What is apartheid? Apartheid was the social and political system in Africa in which the whites were dominating the blacks. Okay, the blacks were not given proper justice, they were not treated fairly, they were not given fundamental rights, they were deprived of basic needs. Clear? So this was the fight between the blacks and the whites. Clear, children? What is apartheid? Apartheid was a social and a political system that prevailed in Africa, where the blacks were discriminated on the basis of their color and physical features and were not given proper rights. What kind of rights were taken away from them? Actually, the blacks were not given proper jobs which they deserved. Okay, the children of blacks were not allowed to study with the children of whites. Clear? In the same schools. They were not given proper education. Clear? Then they were not even allowed to travel in the same buses. So there were many other discriminations which were done only because of their color. Clear? So apartheid was a racial discrimination, clear, in blacks and whites. Then what happened is Nelson Mandela started fighting against this system and he was put in prison. Nelson Mandela stayed in prison for 30 years only because he was fighting against the blacks. He was fighting against this system of apartheid. Clear, children? Now what happened is in 1990, De Klerk came as a president and he declared two things. What did he declare? The first thing that he declared was that if someone is in prison not because of a crime, of a big crime like murder, terrorism, then that person should be released from jail, from prison. And Nelson Mandela came out of the prison. Clear, children? Now, what was the first thing that De Klerk declared? The first thing that De Klerk declared was that if someone is in prison not for a crime like murder or terrorism, then that person should be released from the prison. The second thing that he declared, the second thing that De Klerk declared was in the coming elections that were to be conducted in the year 1994, blacks will be able to fight with whites. Blacks will be able to fight elections with whites. So in other words, there will be multi-racial elections. So these two things were declared by whom, children? De Klerk. I'm repeating those two things that were declared by De Klerk. De Klerk said that everyone who is in the prison not for a big crime like murder, terrorism should be released from jail. Second thing was, he said that in the coming elections, the elections of 1994, he was talking about the elections of 1994. So he declared that there will be multi-racial elections in 1994. Of course, Nelson Mandela had a party of his own, that was ANC, African National Congress, and he fought elections against whites and he won the elections and he became the first black president of Africa. Understood? So what are we going to learn in this chapter is, actually we are going to study the day when Nelson Mandela became the first black president of Africa. Okay, and what did he say in his inaugural speech? We are going to learn in this chapter, we are going to see in this chapter, we are going to read in this chapter that what did Nelson Mandela promise on his inaugural day when he became the first president of Africa, first black president of Africa. Okay children, now we are going to study the chapter. Till now I was just giving you the outline of the chapter. I was just telling you what apartheid is and how it actually became possible for Nelson Mandela to fight elections in 1994. What was apartheid, what happened with blacks during apartheid, and how did Nelson Mandela fight the elections against whites. Okay children, now we are going to study the chapter. Now, what was the day when Nelson Mandela became the first black president of Africa? It was 10th May 1994. Okay, I have written the date here. The chapter's name is Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. And what is Long Walk to Freedom, children? It is an autobiography that has been written by Nelson Mandela. Okay, Long Walk to Freedom is an autobiography, and this chapter is an excerpt from that autobiography. Excerpt means a small part of that autobiography. Clear? What is the name of that autobiography? Long Walk to Freedom. And this chapter that is there in your course is just an excerpt from the book Long Walk to Freedom. Clear everyone? Now, what was the date that I told you? It was 10th May 1994. Okay. Now Nelson Mandela, when we start reading this chapter, children, we get to know that Nelson Mandela is saying that since a few days, I am surrounded by world leaders and all of them are congratulating me for me becoming the first black president of Africa. Okay, he was surrounded by whom, children? World leaders, the ministers of various countries. Okay, the leaders of various countries were congratulating Nelson Mandela for him becoming the first black president of Africa. Clear? And he says that the day actually came when he had to take pledge. Okay, he had to take the oath. And what was that day? 10th May 1994. Okay, and where did this ceremony take place, children? Where did this oath taking ceremony take place? It took place in an amphitheater. Amphitheater is an open theater. Okay, it is an open theater. And where is that open theater situated? Pretoria. Okay, what is the name of that place? Pretoria. And it had been formed by Union Buildings. I am repeating, children, the date was 10th May 1994. The ceremony took place in an amphitheater. Amphitheater is an open theater, okay? And the open theater is in Pretoria and it was formed by Union Buildings. And since a long time, who ruled on this? Whites. Clear? And for the first time, a black is going to take oath in this amphitheater. Got it, children? Now he was so happy and he said that it was the largest gathering, a huge gathering, and actually till the date Africa had not witnessed such a huge gathering. He called it a rainbow gathering. Why did he call it a rainbow gathering? Because people of all caste, color, creed had collected together, okay, of various countries had collected together, and they all had come to celebrate the victory of Nelson Mandela. Clear? So many people from various countries had come to congratulate Nelson Mandela. It was the day when the black government was being installed in Africa for the first time. Okay, children, the black government was being installed for the first time in Africa, and leaders from various countries had come just to wish Nelson Mandela, congratulate Nelson Mandela. Clear? What was the date? 10th May 1994. It was in amphitheater in Pretoria, formed by Union Buildings. Okay, now he called it, all the world leaders had collected, and he called them Rainbow Gathering. And remember, it was the largest gathering that Africa had ever witnessed. Clear, children? Now, there were 3 people along with him on the podium where he was supposed to take oath. There were 3 other people present with him. First one was Zenani, the daughter of Nelson Mandela. The first one was Zenani, the daughter of Nelson Mandela. Second one was De Klerk. Clear? And De Klerk had become the second deputy president of Africa. So he took oath because he had become the second deputy president of Africa. Clear? And the third one was Thabo Mbeki. He became the first deputy president of Africa. So how many people other than Nelson Mandela? 3 people other than Nelson Mandela. The first one was Zenani, his daughter. Whose daughter? Nelson Mandela's daughter. The second one was De Klerk, the second deputy president of Africa. And the third one was Thabo Mbeki, who had become the first deputy president of Africa. Clear, children? Now I have written the names here. Now what happened is, now Nelson Mandela took oath. And what did he pledge, children? What did he say in his pledge? That everyone is present here to congratulate him. Okay, he actually was elated by the presence of everyone. Clear? It was an honor for him that leaders from all over the country had come just to celebrate his victory over whites. Okay, so he was very happy, and it was giving him a new hope. What was giving him a new hope? Actually, it was a symbol of new beginning, that all the world leaders were present at his inaugural ceremony. Okay, then he said that apartheid lasted too long. It took a long time because apartheid started in 1948. Clear? In which year did apartheid start, children? 1948, and it lasted in 1990. Clear? So it lasted for 38 years. It lasted for a long time. So he said that it lasted for a long time. But now Nelson Mandela, who had become the president of Africa, is promising justice. Okay, he is promising justice. He is promising peace. Okay, he is promising dignity to humans, irrespective of their color and features. He is promising dignity, peace, okay, and justice to all the people of Africa. He said that there will be an equal society. Okay, there will be no difference between whites and blacks now. And he said that there will be no cruel and brutal society in Africa. He also said that the wounds of apartheid will take time to heal. Okay, of course those wounds are so deep. They will take time to get healed. But of course they will be healed, and he is promising a society full of justice, peace, dignity to everybody. Getting it, children? This is what he was promising. Now when he took oath, when Nelson Mandela took oath, after that everybody started looking up. Why were they looking up, children? Because the jets and the helicopters were flying in the sky. Why were they flying in the sky? Because they were showing military power. Because of few reasons they were flying. The first one was they were showing military power. They were showing loyalty and respect to the new government that had formed in Africa. Okay, what happened, children? I am repeating. once Nelson Mandela took oath, after that what happened is they all looked up, okay, and what did they see? The jets and the helicopters were flying up, and though the jets and helicopters were displaying the military power, they were showing their loyalty, they were showing their respect to the newly formed government. When the military generals came, okay, they congratulated Nelson Mandela, clear, and their you can say chest was decked up with the medals and ribbons. Okay, the generals who came on the stage where Nelson Mandela was taking oath, the chest of those shoulders, the generals were gleaming, shining with medals and ribbons. Okay, they were such powerful, clear. And Nelson Mandela remembered that till few years back, these generals were ready to handcuff Nelson Mandela, to arrest Nelson Mandela, and today they are saluting Nelson Mandela because he had become the president of Africa, right? So the generals came on the stage, okay, they congratulated, they saluted Nelson Mandela, clear. The army officials saluted Nelson Mandela for him becoming the first black president of Africa. Then what happened, children? The helicopters and the jets that were flying in the sky released colorful smoke. Okay, they made a beautiful sight over there. It was a spectacular sight, and they released some colorful smoke from them, from the jets and the helicopters, and then the flag of Africa was visible, and everybody started singing national anthem. Okay, and children, on that day, two national anthems were sung, one of whites and one of blacks. Okay, what happened? In the first paragraph, I told you how the ceremony took place. We are just repeating everything, children. In the first paragraph, I told you that where the ceremony took place and why was Nelson Mandela happy. He was surrounded by whom, okay, what was the day, what was the place, clear, and why was it a rainbow gathering. In the second paragraph, I told you who all were present along with Nelson Mandela on the podium. Clear? Then in the third paragraph, I told you how did he take the oath. Okay, what did he promise? Promised justice, peace, dignity, a society free from brutality and cruelty. Clear? Then I told you next was everybody started looking up because helicopters and jets were flying, okay, and those helicopters and jets were actually displaying the power of military. They were showing their loyalty and respect for the newly formed government. Okay, now we are going to move forward, children. Now what happened is he again started his speech. He gave his inaugural speech, and what did he say? That he said that of course apartheid resulted in inequality. Okay, the blacks and whites were not treated properly. The wounds are so deep, it will take time to heal, but definitely they will heal. Okay, he also said that the blacks were deprived of basic needs. The blacks lived a life of deprivation. The blacks lived a life, they were not given proper justice. They were not given the basic needs. They were not given the fundamental rights. But now he promised that everybody will be treated equally. Okay, he gave hopes to everyone that of course the sun has risen. The sun of hopes has risen, and now this sun will not just set. Okay, this sun will not set. Okay, children. Now what happened is in the next paragraph he paid tribute to all the women and men who had sacrificed their lives for the day that Nelson Mandela had seen. okay, who actually fought against apartheid and made it possible for Nelson Mandela to become the first president of blacks. Okay, they risked their lives, they fought with courage. Clear? He paid tribute to their courage. He said that they were so courageous. He paid tribute to their generosity. He paid tribute to their wisdom. Okay, if they wouldn't have fought so bravely, of course, Nelson Mandela wouldn't have become the first president of blacks. Clear, children? He said that, of course, Africa is very much famous for gems and minerals under the soil. Clear? He said Africa is not only famous for minerals and gems under the soil, but the biggest wealth of Africa is the people. The people who are so courageous. He called them diamonds. Okay, he had also mentioned his few friends who fought and sacrificed their lives. Of course, they couldn't witness this day when the blacks have come in power. Okay, and he had mentioned the names of Yusuf, he had mentioned the name of Robert, he had mentioned the name of Oliver. Okay, he had mentioned the name of Sisulu. Okay, so all these were the prominent people who fought against apartheid with Nelson Mandela and made the first black government possible in Africa. Okay, children, so in this paragraph he had paid tribute to the courage, wisdom and generosity of all the freedom fighters, without whom he wouldn't have become the first black president, without whom apartheid system wouldn't have ended. Because they sacrificed their lives, because they fought so bravely, this sun of equality had risen in Africa. Okay, children, so he was very sad. He was missing those people, he was missing all the freedom fighters. Okay, of course we also miss our freedom fighters even today. So Nelson Mandela was missing those freedom fighters. He thought that had those people been present here, they would have witnessed it is such a beautiful morning where blacks have won the fight against apartheid. Okay, children, so he was missing the freedom fighters. Now what happened? He said, what is courage? In the next paragraph, he had defined courage. Courage is not, a courageous person is not a person who is not afraid of anything, who's not having any fear. Then who is a courageous person? A courageous person is the person who fights against the fears. Okay, who's a courageous person according to Nelson Mandela? A courageous person is a person who fights his fears. Okay, if a person is not having any fear, that is okay, but a person not having any fear is not courageous. But a courageous person is never giving up attitude person, a person who's having an attitude of not giving up. Clear, children? So he defined a courageous person in the next paragraph. Then he also said, children, that no one is born with hatred. Okay, hatred is taught to them, hatred develops within them. So no one is born with hatred, but people are born with goodness. It is natural within them. So they should spread goodness rather than hatred. Clear? Now next what happened is he had defined the twin obligations. He said that every person on this earth has twin of obligation. And what are those twin obligations? What are those two obligations, children? The duty towards their country and the duty towards their family. Every person needs to perform their duty towards their family and country. Nelson Mandela said that when he was performing his duties, when he was actually dutiful towards his family, he was ignoring his country, but somehow he was a good father, he was a good family member that time, but when he was doing his duties for his country, then he somehow couldn't become a good father, a good husband, a good son. Okay, so but he had the twin obligations. He performed his duties for his family, and he also performed his duty for his country. Clear, everyone? Now what happened is, in the next paragraph, he's saying that when he was a child, okay, when he took birth and he was a young child, in his childhood he thought that freedom is just roaming in the fields, okay, having food, staying outside house, okay, staying with friends, having fun, riding on the buffalo. Okay, for him freedom was just being free. But when he gained maturity, when he became an elderly person, when he grew up, he realized the need of freedom amongst his people, among his friends. He realized that no one is free. He said that of course there is a need of freedom, because he realized that there was apartheid system prevailing in Africa. Freedom is not just eating, not just moving here and there, roaming here and there. Freedom is above that. Okay, equality is freedom. He realized it and he fought against it. Clear, everyone? Then he also said, children, he has talked about oppressed and oppressors. He said that oppressed and oppressors are both robbed of humanity. What did he say, children? Oppressed and oppressors, the one who dominates is also not having humanity, and the one who is being dominated is also not having humanity, because the person who is oppressing, dominating, is a prisoner of hatred, is having hatred within him for the person he is dominating. So both of them are suffering, both of them are ill. Okay, he called the oppressors also ill and oppressed also ill, because a person who is getting dominated is not having trust on humanity, is not a courageous person to fight against humanity. So both of them are suffering, both of them are ill, both of them are not having humanity, are deprived of humanity. So a person should fight against injustice. Okay, so if you are not fighting against injustice, you are equally blamed. Okay, so you are not less blamed than a person who is dominating you, who is oppressing you. Clear, children? And lastly, he said that goodness is a flame within every person. He said that there is a flame of goodness within every person. That flame can be oppressed for some time, suppressed for some time, but it cannot be extinguished. Okay, it cannot be blown off. So that flame is within every person. He also mentioned a small line, a short line at the end of the chapter, saying that he got to know this because a white person did a small good deed with him. So definitely he must be having a flame of goodness within him. So nobody should allow that flame of goodness to be suppressed within him. Clear? Everybody should follow goodness, should spread goodness. So this is the chapter Nelson Mandela, A Long Walk to Freedom. A Long Walk to Freedom, as I told you, is an autobiography of Nelson Mandela, and this chapter is an excerpt of that autobiography, excerpt a small part of that chapter, children. Hope you have understood the chapter. When we are going to begin the next class, children, I am going to revise this chapter again with you. Clear? Please, children, study everything that had been written carefully and you'll get to understand the chapter.